If you've ever posted something just to feel relevant, if you've ever spoken just to be heard, if you've ever done something good but secretly hoped someone would notice, this reminder is for you. And before we go any further, hit subscribe now, because what you're about to hear isn't just advice, it's a mirror for your soul. In a world addicted to being seen, being watched, being applauded, there's a quiet and powerful truth that has been buried beneath filters and followers. You don't need to be seen, you need to be sincere. And the Prophet ﷺ didn't build his legacy on visibility. He built it on sincerity. He ﷺ didn't perform for praise, he performed for Allah. And this is the place where your transformation begins, not in being noticed by people, but in being known by Allah. We live in an age where doing something in silence feels like it doesn't exist, where value is measured in views and hearts are attached to likes. But the sincerity that Allah loves can't be posted, promoted, or performed. It must be planted in the soil of your intention, where no one sees it but Him. And that's where your power lies, not in the spotlight, but in the cider that no one knows about. Not in the platform, but in the patience no one claps for. Not in the speech, but in the silence you keep for the sake of Allah. Sincerity is hard in a world of performance. That's why it's so valuable. That's why Allah loves it. And that's why Shaitan attacks it first. He whispers, will anyone notice this? Will anyone praise you? Will they care if you don't show up today? And in that moment, the war begins, not on the outside, but deep within your heart. Because the moment you shift your intention from seeking His pleasure to seeking theirs, you've lost something priceless. The Prophet ﷺ warned us that on the day of judgment, there will be people who did great things, recited Quran, gave charity, even died as martyrs, and yet Allah will say, you did it, so they would say you were noble. And they said it, so you have your reward. That should shake us, that should wake us, because what if the thing we're chasing is not just hollow, but harmful? What if the spotlight is not a gift, but a trap? What if visibility is the very thing that veils you from sincerity? The Prophet ﷺ said, actions are judged by intentions. And that's not a gentle reminder, it's a warning. Because what is seen may impress the people, but what is unseen is what matters to Allah. He sees the tears you don't post. He hears the du'as you whisper. He knows the battles you never talk about. And that's where sincerity is born, in the quiet corners, in the hidden deeds, in the unseen effort. If no one claps for you, but Allah is pleased, then you have succeeded. If the world forgets you, but Allah remembers you, then you have won. Because real success isn't in going viral. It's in being valued by the one who created you. You don't need to be seen to matter. You don't need an audience to be powerful. You don't need applause to be righteous. The Prophet ﷺ spent years in obscurity before the message. Years of worship, reflection, sincerity, and connection with Allah. He was sincere before he was seen. He was devoted before he was followed. And that's the path for every soul that truly wants to be close to Allah. Sincerity over spotlight, substance over show, intention over impression. The next time you're tempted to do something for recognition, pause. Ask yourself, would I still do this if no one ever knew? If the answer is yes, then you've touched sincerity. And if the answer is no, then you've uncovered something you can fix. Shaitan will keep whispering that you need to be seen, but Allah will keep watching to see if you're sincere. That's the test, and that's the truth. There is something sacred about the shadows, something so powerful that even the angels pause to witness when a believer chooses sincerity over spectacle. When someone decides to worship not for the eyes of people but for the gaze of Allah alone, that's when your soul begins to shine, not in the brightness of fame but in the quiet fire of faith. And yet, so many of us have forgotten how to remain in those shadows. We rush to share, to showcase, to be noticed, even if it's for something good. But the Prophet ﷺ taught us that the best deeds are often the ones hidden from everyone but the one who rewards. When was the last time you did something that no one knew about except Allah? When was the last time you made a dua so private that you never even said it out loud? Just let your heart cry it into the heavens. That's sincerity. And the ones who live like that, the ones who water their hearts in the shadows, they grow into giants on the day of judgment. Because sincerity is the soil where real faith takes root. People chase visibility, but the Prophet ﷺ praised the hidden righteous ones, those who are like hidden treasures, known to Allah, but unknown to the crowd. You don't need to be loud to be listened to in the heavens. You don't need a million eyes watching you when you already have the most merciful watching your every step. But here's the trap. Shaitan won't tell you to stop worshipping. He'll just twist your worship into performance. He'll whisper, share this online. He'll nudge, tell them what you did. And the moment your heart leans toward applause, your sincerity begins to leak away. So protect it, guard it like a treasure. Because it's the one thing that will matter when nothing else does. Not your followers, not your platform, not your image, just your intention. The Prophet ﷺ told us about 7 types of people who will be shaded on the day of judgment, and one of them is the person who gives charity so secretly that his left hand doesn't know what the right hand has spent. That's sincerity in motion. That's humility in practice. When you give only for Allah. When you pray only for Allah. When you forgive only for Allah. And when you love only for the sake of Allah. Every prayer you whisper when no one else is watching. Sincerity is how you win battles that no one knows you're fighting. And sincerity is how you heal from wounds you never explain. Some of the greatest saints, scholars, and worshippers of this ummah never had crowds, never had cameras, never had fame, but they had Allah. And that was enough. So if you've been struggling with being unseen, feeling invisible, misunderstood, or overlooked, some of the most powerful people in history were hidden. And the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah loves the servant who is taqi, God-fearing, ghani, content, and kafi, hidden. Because such a person is safe from arrogance, from ego, from showing off. They don't just do good, they do good with clean hearts. Hearts that beat only for Allah. And in that place, the shadows become sacred. The silence becomes intimate. The unseen becomes powerful. Sincerity becomes your shield. And sincerity becomes your path to Jannah. And now we arrive at the deepest truth of all. The secret that saves you. Not the image you project. Not the status you maintain. But the sincerity that sits quietly inside your chest while the world spins fast around you. It is the silent force behind every accepted deed. The hidden reason. Some people's du'as move mountains while others echo unheard. The Prophet ﷺ said there may be a person disheveled, dusty, and driven away from doors, but if he swears by Allah, Allah fulfills it. That person, that's someone who is sincere. Not because he looks perfect, not because he's popular, but because his heart belongs entirely to Allah. And that's the secret you carry too. Your sincerity is your greatest currency with Allah, even if no one sees it, even if it's never spoken, even if you struggle to feel it sometimes. If your intention is pure, if your actions are planted in the soil of ikhlas, then Allah will water them, grow them, and reward them in ways that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has ever imagined. People chase relevance, but you chase relevance, but you chase realness. They want claps, but you want closeness to Allah. They want validation, but you want elevation in the akhirah. And in that pursuit, you will lose some visibility. You will not always be seen. You will sometimes feel invisible, forgotten, ignored, but you will never be forgotten by Allah. You will never be invisible in His sight. The Prophet ﷺ told us that even a single word said sincerely can be enough to earn paradise. Imagine that one moment of sincerity, one small deed, One prayer done with full focus, one coin given with full humility, one tear shed in private could outweigh a lifetime of performance. Because sincerity is not in how much you do, but in why you do it. And if your why is Allah, then your every breath becomes ibadah. Your every effort becomes eternal. You're not building a brand, you're building a legacy. You're not chasing clout, you're chasing the pleasure of the most merciful. The Prophet ﷺ lived like this. He smiled even when he was grieving. He gave even when he had nothing. He forgave even when he was wronged. Not because it made him look good, but because it made him beloved to Allah. His entire life was a hidden flame of sincerity, steady, warm, powerful, and you can carry that same flame. You don't need a crowd to follow you. You just need to follow the one who was sent as a mercy to all. You don't need to shine in people's eyes. You need to shine in Allah's book. Because when the pages are turned on the day of judgment, what will matter is not who saw you, but who you were when no one saw. That's the secret that will save you. The moment you made wudu at night while the world was asleep, the sujood that soaked your pillow in silence, the dua you made while breaking inside, the charity you gave when your own pockets were empty, the forgiveness you offered without ever being asked. These are the moments that write your true story. And it is a story that doesn't need likes or shares or validation, because Allah is the author, and He writes with perfect justice and endless mercy. So hold on to your sincerity like it's your most prized possession, because it is. And when you feel unseen, unheard, underappreciated, remember that your most sincere moment may be the very one that saves you. So keep going, keep praying, keep serving, keep whispering your du'as, keep being real, even when no one notices, because the one who matters most has never taken his eyes off you. And in a world full of noise, that quiet truth is all you'll ever need.